The Graphic User Interface, or GUI, allows quick and easy adjustment of parameters in a familiar mixer layout, allowing for a low learning curve and quick use. The main or home view allows access to 5 key screens. Input and output meters. The input and output level activity for each channel is always visible. The operating range is from -48 dB to +24 dB with a red arrow indicating 0 dB or nominal signal levels. Levels below -48 dB do not appear on the meters and indicate an extremely low input level. Levels above 0 dB may approach clipping, above which the meters turn progressively from yellow to red. The 4 main sections for audio management are the main screen, the zone processing screen, the output processing screen, and the paging screen. Each of these areas are accessed via their respective buttons, which are below the meters. The lower region of the main screen is broken up into 3 parts. The input DSP section includes an area for mic line inputs, channels 1 to 4, and channels 5 to 12 for audio media inputs. The input section adjusts the source material levels into the zone mix 761. Output DSP are located on the right side of the mixer. The input DSP is accessed from the main screen by clicking on the blue DSP Edit button on the top of each individual input channel. On the Input tab, you may activate white or pink noise on channels 1 through 3 only, adjust the digital trim, set between line and mic level of the source, engage 20 volts DC phantom power, or invert the phase of the signal. Channel 4 has a couple of unique features. White and pink noise are not available. There is a legacy ARC audio feature that does appear in the control software, but is not available on current production ARC devices. The equalizer consists of 3 parametric bands sandwiched between a low and high shelf. Additionally, a rumble or low-cut filter is also provided. The equalizer is available on mic line channels 1 through 4. The compressor is also available on mic line channels 1 through 4. It reduces the dynamic range of signals above a user-determined threshold. Signal levels below the threshold remain unchanged. The feedback fighter automatically detects and suppresses acoustic feedback in an audio system. This capability is on channels 1 through 4 only. Please note that the use of the feedback fighter should always be used along with, not instead of, good system design practice. Now we'll move to the audio media inputs on channels 5 through 12. Here, you may adjust the digital trim of inputs. You may also set the individual channel volume and mute, which is reflected back on the main screen. AGC, or automatic gain control, is intended to take signals of indeterminate levels up to a target level while maintaining program dynamics. This feature applies to channels 5 through 12 only. Most AGCs incorporate silence detection to prevent the loss of gain reduction during silent periods. This is the single feature that separates an AGC from an ordinary compressor limiter. The DSP Input tab of all 12 channels allow access to the main page volume and mute controls at all times. Zone DSP processing is accessed by pressing the Zones button. There are 6 total zones, each with its own independent processing. The Zone Source tab allows input and ducking source selections for each of the 6 zones: page station volume, and zone mutes. The signal flow diagram provides 1-button shortcuts to the ducking tab, SPL auto gain tabs for zones 1, 2, and 3, and the output routing page. A ducker lowers the gain in the signal path in response to a signal connected to its sidechain input. A typical ducker application is lowering the volume of background or foreground music to make way for paging. The Zone Mix 761 provides a dual ducking format which allows a great deal of flexibility. The Zone Mix tab allows the user to create a custom mix from any mic line or audio media input. Each of the 6 zones can have its own zone mix. To designate a zone mix as a program source for a zone, choose Zone Mix from the Program 1 or Program 2 drop-down menu within the Zone Sources tab. The Station Priority tab allows the user to assign priority to each of the 3 paging sources for each individual zone. It can be thought of as a smart input selector that routes the active input with the highest priority to the output. The SPL auto gain on zones 1 through 3 only adjusts program material level based on the ambient noise level. As the ambient noise level increases, the program level is turned up as well. This module only listens to the ambient sense microphone during program material gaps, for example, when the program level is below a certain threshold. This prevents the module from hearing its own output and avoids runaway feedback problems. The output routing page is accessed via the Output Route button. The zone volumes and mutes are found on the left-hand side of the Output Route section. These are the volumes and mutes typically adjusted by a user's wall panel. Zone-to-output routing allows zones to be routed to one or more physical outputs. It also allows multiple zones to be mixed into one or more outputs, thus the output routing matrix is a true matrix mixer. The paging station section is accessed via the paging button. Paging can route a specific input to selected zones via a push-to-talk function. Page stations may be as simple as a microphone with or without push-to-talk, or as complex as a modular ARC panel with multiple buttons of source selection and a separate mic. Up to 3 paging stations may be configured. The output section adjusts the final output level of the ZoneMix 761. The output DSP is accessed from this main screen by clicking on the blue DSP edit button from each individual output channel. The Loudspeaker Manager tab pulls together several features frequently required for room optimization: parametric EQ, high and low pass filters, delay control, and invert. Limiters reduce the dynamic range of signals by strictly limiting the maximum allowed output level. Signals below the output limit remain unchanged, while those above it are attenuated to maintain that specific maximum level.